Welcome back to Teresa's Dead. My name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. I have an awful, garbage, filthy, disgusting mouth, so viewer discretion is advised. But if you're not into that, or weird in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul, but I'll remember our time fondly. Hello, my little pumpkins. I am beyond excited for today's video because I get to do something that I haven't done, but I've been wanting to do for like a hot minute now, and that is to talk about my top 3 in every category. I know there were a few people that asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, and then I kind of forgot about it. But then I wanted to do it in December, and then we all know what happened there. So I felt it was really important to do it in January because I really want to focus on the products that I have just been obsessed with. Things that, yeah, okay, maybe came out in 2023, but also things that came out a few years ago that I'm just still like beyond obsessed and in love with, and I would be forever gutted if any of these things disappeared. Now, I didn't do a best or worst of in 2023 because that was a gas leak year. We don't talk about that year. So let's start fresh. And since we are starting fresh, let's start with the first thing that I usually do, which is eyebrows. I know some of y'all may have thought that I was gonna say primer. No, it's eyebrows because I need eyebrows. If I don't have eyebrows, I have no idea what the f I'm doing and I hate it. I'm like a hairless rat. I can't stand it. So there are 3 products that I want to talk about, and I feel like they're the 3 products that just have been in the description of my videos for just, I don't know, eternity at this point. But the first product I want to talk about is the Fenty Beauty, what the hell is this one called? I should know it. I buy so many of these. The Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. I think it's like the MVP styler or whatever. I love this thing. This to me is probably the best formula I will ever try when it comes to a brow product. And before turning blonde, I found that the Ash Brown Pencil was the best, the absolute best for me and my whatever the hair I had back then. Now I've switched it up to kind of like a dark ash blonde, and I'm just, I'm still in love with it. Sure, the little kind of, it's not really a spoolie, it's more of like a weird sponge thing at the end. This is kind of stupid. Like I could have dealt without this thing, but the actual formula, it's so good. It's so thin, it's so precise. The formula lasts all day. I don't have any issues with it. Everything just looks wonderful. Sometimes I feel like with brow products, it could kind of get a little bit too waxy to the point where it just stops working and it looks like your skin's very glossy. It's very weird. I don't know what the f that is exactly, but I hate when that happens. Thankfully, it doesn't happen with this product. This is just perfect. I probably have purchased like 50 of these in my lifetime, and that's probably being conservative. Actually thinking about it, I probably bought way more. Because anytime Fenty has like a 30% off sale, I usually max out whatever I can buy. It's usually about 5 of them. I'll buy 5 every time. That is how much I'm in love with this pencil. This is amazing. And if they ever stop making this Fenty product, I will truly be upset. Now, the other products that I have been obsessed with as well, but just maybe not as much as the Fenty one. So this product is the Kosas Brow Pop Nano. I also have like the big boy one too, which I think is just the Brow Pop. This one's fine as well. Like I like the formula of it. I'm just like not a huge fan of the triangular tip because I don't like big, giant, bushy brows. It's just not for me, and that's fine. So when I saw that they had like a little skinnier version, I just beyond obsessed. I love the formula. I love the color. I have it in the shade Taupe. It's a perfect match for me. The reason why it will never dethrone Fenty is because you get like this much product in it. And it's a real kick in the balls, honestly, because I love this formula so much. And the fact that they give me this much just makes me so angry. So anytime that there is a sale, whether it's in the Kosas site or Sephora or whatever, I just try to stock up as much as I can because I go through these pretty frequently. So if you're looking for something that's very small, precise, and does a really great job at doing like individual hair strokes, this is perfect for you. Now, a new favorite of mine, which I was actually kind of surprised because I have tried like iterations of like Gimme Brow from Benefit, and I don't know, like I never like fell in love with the product. That was until I tried the Gimme Brow Plus Volumizing Pencil. This is awesome. I have it in the shade 1, and this is, it's so good. It is perfect if I want to do like a very quick brow and just be on my way. With the Fenty and the Kosas, it takes a little bit more time because I want to be a little bit more precise, but with this one, because of like that, it's like a powdery kind of Gimme Brow formula or whatever, it just coats my eyebrow really, really quickly, and then when I use the spoolie to kind of buff it out, it looks really, really natural. I love this. This is a fantastic product. So Benefit actually sent this to me, and then since then I probably picked up like at least 4 or 5 of them. They last for a very long time as well, so you do get like, ooh, a nice fair amount of product here. I also love the spoolie. I think out of all the products, the spoolie on the Benefit product is the best, and yeah, it's great. Anyway, these are fantastic. So if I want something quick, it's Benefit. If I want something a little bit more precise, it's Kosas. If I just want to just, I don't know, just stick with an oldie but a goodie and my tried and true, that would be Fenty. These are my brow products, and that's the first thing that I use. Once we go past the brow products, then we have primers. And initially I was going to just be a troll and just be like, obviously 1, 2, 3 is Ritual to be Thorn Oil. And for the most part, that's true. But I really wanted to think about the other products that I have been using lately, and on the days that I don't use Ritual Defeat, these are the 2 products that I constantly use. But before I tell you what they are, let me just, I don't know, gush about this little guy. I love him. I love him. Y'all know that I purchased this because I was like, what the f is this? It looks like blood. I'm obsessed. Okay. And ever since discovering this a few years ago, good luck trying to clutch this from my cold, dead hand. It's never gonna happen. This is the product that would be buried right next to me. I'd be actually holding it in my coffin, just holding it. That's how much I love this product. I love this product. If you have dry skin like me, this is a game changer. Now I understand that apparently it has like some sort of like kind of rose smell. I don't have the best sense of smell. Something has to be truly pungent and just rancid for me to like smell it, but I don't get any sort of reaction when it comes to the smell of this product. And since I also have sensitive skin, the fact that this doesn't break me out, it doesn't irritate me, it keeps my skin feeling nice and healthy and plump, and most importantly, hydrated, and it makes my makeup last forever. This is hands down the best primer. Now you can use it for skincare, and I have done that, and it's fine. But to me, the best use for it is a primer. I can't tell you how many bottles I purchased of this. Yes, they do occasionally send this to me in PR every now and again. I have probably picked up, I don't know, probably like well over 20 bottles at this point. It's probably way more than that. It's worth every penny. Yes, she is expensive, but she's worth every penny. And that said, since I am affiliated with the brand, I do have an affiliate code. So if you ever wanted to try it and you want to save 10%, use the code Theresa10. You will not regret it. Oof, I love it. Now, the other 2 primers that I love, I feel like it's gonna be a little bit of a shock to people. And the first one is from Izamaya. This is good. Now, Izamaya is a very weird brand. I still don't know what I feel about them because there are some really amazing products and then some products that are like, what the f is this? Like lipstick, for example, or the horrible cheap highlighter, or the weird horse mascara, or the ghostly eyeshadow palette. Like there's just like a lot of just weird with this brand. But when this came out, first of all, it has a ring. What is there not to love about that? Like that's adorable, okay? So cute. This primer is very similar to the Thorn Oil in the sense that it does provide a load of hydration. It makes your skin look healthy and wonderful and glowy, but it also has like a very nice golden kind of sheen. So you kind of look a little bit like a sex robot in the best way possible though. I love how makeup looks over this because it just brings a nice level of dewiness, but with some pizzazz. Because there's some gold in this product, oh, bitch, you just look good. You seriously, you look like a sex robot. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. So if I'm in the mood for something a little bit extra, this is the product for me. Plus, again, love that it has this little cock ring. I love it. I also think aesthetically, just the bottle is everything, but this was a complete pleasant surprise. I initially was going to mention the Natasha Denona Hygiene Primer, which is a really, really good primer, but compared to the Izamaya, I think the Izamaya is just so much better. I don't know, the glow is just unreal with this product. And while the Thorn Oil does provide a glow as well, there's just something just, I don't know, just ethereal and beautiful about this product that just keeps me coming back every time. So if I want to look a little special, I go with Izamaya. Now, when it comes to foundations where I cannot use my oil-based primer or the Izamaya primer, then I go with a 2. This is the Glow On Hydra Base. This is awesome. This is so good. Anytime I have a foundation that is water-based, this has just been so wonderful. It not only plumps up my skin like a delicious little hot dog, it keeps me hydrated, it keeps me comfortable, it makes my makeup last really long, and I also feel like super fresh and clean. Like, I can't really explain it. When I use this primer, it feels like I just washed my face, and you know how wonderful that feeling is? Such a good feeling. That's what it's like when I use this primer. I just feel so refreshed and so energized. And then when I apply the makeup, everything just looks so seamless and wonderful. So yes, this is super, super good as well. So these 3 are my absolute favorites, and if they ever were discontinued, I would raise hell. So let's move on to foundation. I thought long and hard about this because I love a lot of foundations. I love the Safe foundation. I like the Makeup by Mario foundation. I love my Dior Air Flash. Like, I have a lot of favorites, but I really wanted to focus on the ones that I have just been non-stop using, the ones that have a death grip on me. And for that, it's these three. And I don't know what I would do if they ever stop making them. I really don't know. So the first one is from Haus Labs, and this is probably the bottom of my list. And the reason for that is because the other two products I am going to talk about are ones that I just literally cannot stop using. Like, it's impossible. It's impossible to stop. But anyway, I love this one because it's a beautiful natural finish foundation. It's very long wearing. I don't have any sort of issues with clogging my pores or creating texture or drying my skin out. If you want something that's going to last for a really long time and also deal pretty decently in the humidity, this is really, really good. I love how comfortable this product is, and I also love its concealer. I feel like the two of those just go hand in hand, and they make for a very beautiful complexion duo. Now, not everything from Haus Labs has been a home run for me, but this is something that honestly, between this, the powder, and the concealer, like, you can't go wrong. That is a very strong lineup. And if you've never tried Haus Labs, I recommend you checking all three of those products out because they're good. They're so good. When all used together or even separately or whatever, it creates magic on your skin. Like, it just looks so beautiful. Everything just looks so seamless. And I am not a huge fan of matte foundations because I have dry skin and it usually dries the out of me. And again, it makes me look like I'm closer to death and I hate it. But when I have a foundation that has a natural finish, it's kind of like the best of the both worlds, right? It's not quite dewy, but it's not also stiff matte. It's just like right in the middle. Just looks like your skin, but better. This is so good. Absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend. Go check that out, okay? So the next product would be from NARS, and I actually like this more than the Haus Labs. I know, I don't believe it either, but this is something this is something that's so good. And I would be completely devastated if they stopped making this product. So this is the Light Reflecting Foundation. This is just such a beautiful light coverage foundation, kind of like a light to medium coverage. This is another product that also has a beautiful natural finish, and what I like about this is that I feel like I don't necessarily need to set it down. Now with Haus Labs, I need to kind of set it down because it can transfer a little bit. I don't feel that way with NARS. This is just, it's such a beautiful product. I love how it sits on the skin. It doesn't create any unnecessary texture on my face. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. It lasts for a very long time and does a really great job in the humidity. I do not have a bad thing to say about this product. I have been through, I think, like 3 or 4 bottles at this point since discovering this at the beginning of 2022, actually. This was the last product that I picked up when I was in New York before I moved down to Florida. I remember stopping into Sephora on Austin Street in Queens, and I really wanted to try this foundation, and I got shade matched. So believe it or not, I'm actually shade 2.5 Yukon, which is really funny because I am uncooked chicken, and I think 2.5 is technically more like light territory or something like that. But that shade is just a perfect match for me, and it's so wonderful and so good. And now kind of thinking about it, maybe I have a special place in my heart for it because it reminds me of home a little bit. So I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with it as well, or for where it is in my ranking order. But honestly, if I had to choose between this or Haus Labs, NARS is gonna win every time. I don't know what's in it. I don't care what's in it. This just works perfectly with my Ritual Diffuse Thorn Oil, and I can't ask for like a better pair. So I love this. Love, love, love this. And what I also like about this product too is that it's really good for like the redness in my skin. Now, Haus Labs does a great job with coverage, but with redness specifically, I love the NARS. Now, I think this is going to be even more surprising probably because what dethrones NARS for me is Revlon. I know. So this is the Skin Caring Foundation, the Illuminance line. If they ever stop making this, I'll be in jail. I'll be straight up, I'll be in jail. I will go to jail for this product, okay? This is everything that I want in a foundation. It's a beautiful, dewy finish, but it's not too dewy where I feel like I stuck my head in a deep fryer. I love that this product just pairs so well with a lot of my cream products, and the fact that I don't need to like run and set it down is so amazing. I love that it doesn't settle into my fine lines. It has the best longevity ever. It's so good in the heat and the humidity. Well, yes, it does kind of break down. It doesn't break down as much as other foundations that I have used. There is not a bad thing that I can say about this Revlon product. And 9 out of 10 times when someone compliments my complexion, it's usually because of the Revlon. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. I'm just happy that I found this product and that it's everything that I want it to be and then some. If I were to suggest to try a foundation out of the 3 that I mentioned, get Revlon. Get Revlon every time. That is how much I love this product. It's so good. And if you want to know the shade I use, it's 109. Perfect. The best shade for me. Can't ask for a better match. Like, I'm just in love with this. If I can get married to it, I would. Sorry, Alex, but this is everything. I mean, I'm sure he would agree too. Like if he put it on his face, he'd be like, I get it, okay? That's how wonderful this is. This is my number one. And I bet you 10 bucks, I bet you 10 bucks by the end of the year, this will still be my number one. I don't think anything will ever top this. And I'm okay with that. This is gonna be coming into the grave with me, along with my my Thorn oil for sure. But the other thing that I love about this particular foundation is that I can use any primer. I don't even need to use a primer if I really don't want to use a primer. I don't have to. It's just, this is just everything. And if they ever decide to change the formula, or they decide not to make it, or like do God knows what to it, I will be very upset. Do not touch this, Revlon. This is perfect. This is perfect. So let's move on to skin tints. And the first one that I want to mention is technically a foundation, but whatever, I don't care. I pretty much use it as a skin tint, and that's from Fenty. Fenty has a few products that I love, but majority of their products, I don't know, like they just don't do it for me, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But the ones that I do love, they are my holy grails, my ride or dies. Okay. That said, when the Ease Drop Stick came out, I really wanted to try it because it sounded really interesting. It's supposed to blur, it's supposed to smooth, it's lighter coverage, but you can kind of build it up to be a more medium coverage. All of that sounded fine and well. The first week trying this product, I was really blown away. I love how simple it is. Like I don't need to have all these tools. If I really just wanted to just kind of massage it into the skin with my fingers, I can. If I wanted to use a brush, if I wanted to use a sponge, I'm gonna get the same application every time. I prefer to use my fingers just to have like a nice like light coverage, and then go in with a heavier concealer just to get a little bit more coverage in certain spots where I have some redness. This is such a perfect product on the go. If I need to do like little touch-ups, this is the product that I use. So good. So I have it in the shade 2, and it's everything. She's everything. She's so good. I kind of treat her as like a giant cover-up stick, really. I just love it. This is another product that is pretty much like your skin, but better. It works with all my primers beautifully, and I absolutely just love that it has a really nice natural finish. This is a perfect product. The other product that I was actually quite surprised about because I didn't think that I was going to love it, because I kind of was like dog on it a little bit in my makeup bingo, is from Hourglass. The Veil Hydrating Skin Tint is so good. It's ridiculous how good this product is. When you see this video, I'll actually be in the Tampa area. Oh, bitch, this is the thing that I'm bringing with me because I love something that is just simple and fast to use. Something that I don't really need to set down. I don't need to bring a load of products with me. Something that has amazing coverage and just beautiful longevity and just, oh, it's so good. This is a very hydrating product, but not too hydrating where it looks like you just dipped your face into grease. So if you're worried about that, don't be. This is just so good. I really just love the longevity of it. It's just so good and comfortable, and it's lightweight. It really feels like you're wearing nothing at all. Honestly, that's what I love about this whole category. It's the kind of makeup that you just go to bed with. You shouldn't, but you can, and it's gonna be fine. The last product that I want to talk about in this category is from a brand called Unleasha. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I found this on Yes Style, and honestly, the reason why I picked it up is because I thought the whole packaging was just so cool. I was like, oh my God, I need to try this. Of course, everything about the product sounded lovely and well. It's described as like a lightweight coverage option that's supposed to give you a nice healthy glow. That's all fine and well. But this though, stylistically, spoke to me so hard. So when I applied this to my skin, I was just blown away initially. And after using it for the first time, I was like, this has to be like a trick. I'm probably not gonna get the same results. Oh bitch, I get the same results every time. It is so good. I think out of all three of these products, this is probably my favorite one. This is my favorite one. I don't know. I have no idea. I love the component. I love how kind of funky it is. You press this little button here, a little bit of the product disperses out. I actually don't even mind the little pad that you get with it, but I kind of just apply it with my fingers and start to massage it out and then use a sponge to kind of press the product in. It's so good. I love the longevity. I love that you get a pretty decent coverage with the product. Well, it's still light coverage. This paired with a high coverage concealer is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's just, oh, it's so good. It's so damn good. So yes, love this product. The only downside to it is that I think there's like maybe 3 shades. That's probably the worst thing about it, is that if you do not fit those buckets, you can never try it. And that sucks. So for that, it just makes me go, ugh, because more people should try this product because it's so wonderful. And it's a shame that it's never gonna happen. It is. But if you are lucky enough to try it, you're gonna love it. I don't know why. I don't know what's in it. Again, I don't care what's in it. As long as it doesn't break me out or hurt me, I'm fine. This is the perfect product. And I'm pretty sure y'all are probably gonna be like, well, what do you like better? You like this or this? Revlon will always win. But this does come for a nice close second though, it does. But yes, those are my favorite skin tints. So let's move on to concealers. So my number one favorite in the concealer department is from House Labs. I use this all the time. I've already bought a backup and I bought another backup to that backup because I'm just going through this like crazy. And you do get a fair amount of product in here, right? I think you do, right? 0.24 fluid ounces. I feel like that's pretty standard. Watch that not be the case. I feel like that's pretty high, right? Now I gotta go look at all the other ones. No, it is. At least out of the concealers that I'm looking at that are my favorites pile anyway. But yeah, do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think this is okay. Anyway, this is awesome. I think the last time I felt truly some type of way about a concealer was Kokie. Kokie makes a wonderful, the Be Brightening Concealer. That is the best concealer, hands down, ever, 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 ever. Love that it doesn't settle into fine lines. Love the longevity, love the coverage. There's not a bad thing to say about it. And I never thought I would ever see the day where it would get dethroned, but it did get dethroned. And it's because these are the products that I've just been really I cannot stop using. I can't stop picking it up. I just can't. But what makes Haus Lab special is just how seamless and beautiful and just, I don't know, like it literally ties the look together. Every time. Anytime I have like a weird shade of foundation that needs some correcting, Haus Labs comes in and saves the day. The fact that I could technically not really set my under eyes and just kind of wear like all cream products all day and not have like huge like gaping holes or giant cracks and crevices in my face is wonderful. Like whatever is in this is just, please don't ever change this formula. Like I mentioned before, the foundation and the concealer together is magic, but it's also very magical when used separately. Like, oh my God. I haven't found one foundation yet where this doesn't work. There are some concealers where it's like, okay, you can only use it for this type of foundation. This is just universal, baby. Like she is good to go anywhere, everywhere. And this is like, again, a perfect concealer if you're looking for good coverage. So I love using this with my skin tints as well. This is number one. Number two for me, believe it or not, and I feel like this is probably gonna like throw people for a loop because I don't even think I ever really talked about this product, but this is from IT Cosmetics. This is the Bye Bye Dark Spots Concealer and Serum. I don't know what the they put into this product, but when I tell you that my under eyes, oh bitch, they look so good. I do suffer a little bit from dark circles, and I find that I usually have to put on a little bit more concealer if I want to conceal stuff. This is probably the best product if you have dark circles and you don't want to just slather your under eye area with too much concealer, because usually when it happens, because this is like the thinnest part of your skin on your face, it just looks cakey and heavy and just gross and horrible. So I love this product because one, it has amazing coverage, but it also does an amazing job at covering up the dark circles. And again, this is also another product that works really, really well when I have a foundation that just looks really funky and I'm like, okay, I need something to kind of even it out. This is perfect. So I have it in the shade, what is the shade on this guy? I don't even know. I think it's whatever the lightest shade. Oh, on the top, dumbass. Okay. I was like, where the fuck is the shade? I use Fair Neutral 11. Now you do get this little sponge tip on the top. I have never used it. I don't plan on ever using it. I don't care to use it. Because all I need is just this little doe foot, and then I apply it either with my finger if I don't have a brush or a sponge. But typically I like to use a brush these days. This is so good. This is so good. So good. If you can, definitely try it, especially if you suffer from just dark circles and you just want some relief. This is your product because you don't need a lot of it, and it just, oh, it looks so good every time. Anytime I'm having like a good like complexion day, 9 out of 10 times, it's because I'm wearing this concealer. Now I was gonna talk about the Gucci concealer because believe it or not, that product is amazing, amazing. But I recently tried Kulfi. I'm so pissed that I waited as long as I did. I really am. Because I guarantee you by the end of the year, this will still be in my top 3 along with Haus Labs for sure. Maybe IT Cosmetics. Something has to come out to really wow me. I kind of have a feeling that these 3 are definitely going to stay the same at the end of the year. I just have a feeling. I just do. So this one's technically good for dark circles, and I think it does a really good job, but I think the IT Cosmetics does a better job in that department. But this is great for the under eye area. It's great for the spaces where you just need to add a little bit of coverage and you don't want to waste it with foundation to ultimately like make it all cakey and patchy, and this is just a great product to kind of like fill in those areas that need a little bit more coverage. I love that it's hydrating. I love that I don't need to rush to set it down, but if I do set it down, I'm not going to experience any sort of creasing, any sort of flaking, or any sort of just bullshit in general. Like, this is just awesome. And I was sincerely really surprised because I was just going to like just talk about how much I love the Gucci one, but it dethroned it. I don't know, there's just something about this particular concealer that I just cannot stop using. It's actually what I have under my eyes today. Just so good. It's so good. I absolutely enjoy this product. I secretly hope that they release a foundation in the same line this year. I really hope that happens, because if it's anything like the concealer, it's going to be just one of the best things I've ever tried. If it's not, it's a damn shame. But this is a good one. If you've been wanting to try it, check it out. And for reference, my shade is Bad Badam. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, this is so good. So good. Let's move on to powder. You know, I lied. I could also probably rank this one too, just thinking about it. So number 3 is going to be Kosas, the Cloud Set Powder. It's so good. So like I mentioned, time and time again, I have very, very dry skin, and it's super annoying because certain powders just look archaic on me. Like they just dry me out and I look like, and I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And usually a good rule of thumb is if it looks like I have any sort of like texture or asbestos on my nose or the apples of my cheeks, I know that this is not a good product for me. This one, I mean, I have used it out of, and I feel like I'm about to kind of hit pan somewhere over yonder. This is so good. I cannot stop using it. The reason why I love this product is not only does it look great for my overall face, but it looks really beautiful under the eyes. It's not too heavy, so if I do use a lot of powder, I don't feel like, oh, I'm weighing myself down. Everything still just looks beautiful and seamless. Nothing ever looks cakey at all. Now, the reason why this is number 3 is because the other 2 products, there's just something about those that I just love that much more. But I think the only downside to this one is apparently it doesn't last very long. So I've heard a lot of people say that, like, I think after the 6-month mark, you know, the powder starts to kind of get funky and smell weird. So I'll let you know if that happens, but so far so good. It hasn't happened yet, but this has just been wonderful. And if you're ever looking just for a nice, beautiful setting powder that is not too heavy, this is your bitch right here. Now, my number 2 would be from VDL. So this is another product that I picked up at Yes Style, and this is the Expert Blur Fixing Powder. I believe it also has some skincare in it from the brand Belief, which is really, really awesome. Oh yes, here we go. Belief Aqua Bomb is in this product. This blew my mind. Actually, I think between this and the Unleashia product, beside myself. I can't explain it. Like, the coverage just looks so good. I love Chantecaille. I love Chantecaille and I love the Blur powder. I really sincerely do. And as one of my favorite products of all time, and yes, that will be coming in the casket with me. But I think this is better. It's better. It's better. I love when I use this product because it legitimately takes away all of this, okay? It makes me look like a porcelain doll. I don't know how that happens, but it just does. I do have like little tiny pores over here. Immediately just erases them. This is like the magic eraser of all powders, okay? Again, I don't know what's in it. It could be pressed virgin blood. It doesn't matter. If you're looking for something that is going to legitimately just press all your bullshit away to give you a nice, seamless, smooth porcelain doll-like finish, look no further, okay? Also, what's really nice about this product too is that I don't feel like I get any sort of like weird white cast as well. So yeah, this is great. Love it under the eyes, love it for setting over my face. If I could set my whole body, I would. This blurs all your bullshit. This is awesome. Now you're probably saying, well, why isn't that number 1? What's number 1? When I tell you, this will blow your mind, okay? CoverGirl, CoverGirl, CoverGirl. Do you know how mad I am that I've wasted so much time and so much money by the way, on products that, okay, so like for example, Chantecaille is like, I think that Blur powder at the time was what, $72? I think it's now like 80 bucks. Again, beautiful product, love it, but CoverGirl's better. I don't know why. I don't know why. There's something about the Simply Ageless line that is just utter perfection. It's actually the product that I set my face with today. And I go back and forth between these 2 products. And as you can see, this is well loved, like well loved. And I'm on my third one of this one. I think this is Fair. And then I have a translucent one as well, where it's starting to break away a little bit in the middle here. I have a backup of it, okay? Wait, sorry. I also have a backup. Anytime this product's on sale, I pick it up. And it's not super expensive. Well, I feel like drugstore has been like really coming up in their prices. So I think it's like $16, $17. So kind of expensive or whatever, but technically more affordable if you compare it to like Chantecaille or whatever. Anyway, point is, anytime this is on sale, I will happily buy one or two because that's how much I use it. It is so comfortable. Doesn't matter how much of the product you use. It's never going to make your skin feel heavy. It's never going to be cakey. Everything just, again, looks airbrushed and beautiful. It takes away your pores. It gives you the best longevity possible. It looks seamless under the eyes. There is not a bad thing that I can say. And on the days where I feel like I have like light coverage and I just need an extra bit of coverage, but for whatever reason I want to use powder, that's what I love about the Fair one. This is just such a good match for me. Oh my god, it just fills in all the blanks. Now you're probably saying like, but the VDL one, like it's pretty much like the same thing. I think what makes this product more of a standout for me is the fact that I can get it in multiple shades. So if I want translucent, if I want a little bit more of a brightening moment, I can get that. This one I can only get one shade. The CoverGirl comes in clutch when I want a little bit more of a brightening moment. When you do a little bit of like baking, oh my god, it brightens some of the areas. But again, when you start to kind of like buff it away with a brush, it doesn't make anything look heavy or cakey or dry or... But for my overall face, I tend to go with the Fair shade because again, it just provides an extra bit of coverage where I missed with my foundation or my concealer. It's so good. It's so good. I don't want to call it cement because it's not cement, but it's the thing that I guess that just brings everything together. If I need a little bit of something that I missed, that's the product that will fill in the gaps. I will be genuinely surprised if I find something that is better than pretty much these two products. If I find that, I will eat my hat. I don't have a hat, but if I had a hat, I'd eat it. Because I don't think they're ever going to make products that are better than these two. Get your CoverGirl. It's so good. I don't know why I've been so resistant to drugstore. I don't know why. I shouldn't be, because drugstore is just so much better than the that you find in Sephora. It truly is. Anyway, so moving on to bronzers, I also actually have this in order too. So yeah, I'm obviously a big fat liar. Okay, so number 3 would be Kosas. This is the Sun Show. This is a good bronzer. This is probably my least favorite out of the top 3 because it's more on the warmer side, which is something I typically don't really f with because warm bronzers make me look like Snooki and I don't like it. Or a giant Oompa Loompa or a carrot, like it just makes me look really off-putting. But this is one of the warm tone bronzers that I actually thoroughly enjoy. And the fact that it has like a really nice kind of like baked in like shimmering, it's not really shimmering because you don't see any sort of like glitter or anything like that, but it has a very nice sheen to it where it just gives you like this really beautiful like built-in highlighter effect. It's so good. So good. So good. So highly recommend checking this out if you're looking for like a nice warmer tone bronzer that kind of has like this nice beautiful golden glow. This actually paired with the Izamaya. Oh, you're like a beautiful sex robot. I love it. Now the second product for me, which is actually really funny because I on this product so many times and it was actually one of the worst products I've ever tried, the Gucci bronzer. So obviously I chose poorly when I first tried this product because I thought that Fair was going to look like on me. No, Fair is actually the best match for me. I chose, I think, either shade 1 or 2. And anyway, it looked muddy and patchy and just really gross. I am thoroughly impressed with how smooth and soft and wonderful this formula is. I love that this is a nice, proper neutral tone bronzer. So it's not too cold, it's not too warm, it's just right. It gives you that permanent vacation glow without the melanoma. And I love the longevity of it. Like this truly lasts for a very, very long time and it does a really great job in the heat. And I also love that the packaging on this looks like it comes from The Shining, so it makes me love the product that much more. The formula is smooth. Yes, it is a matte bronzer, but it's not like an insufferable gross matte where it just feels like you are just dying. Your skin's dying. You don't feel that at all. It's just a really beautiful, like just natural finish. This is probably one of the more natural bronzers that I have in my collection. It's so good. It's so good. But number 1 for me, and should come as no surprise, Jones Road. Jones Road bronzer. Let me tell you, this is how much I use it, okay? Like, that's how much I use it. I feel like I only hit pan on like powder products or like brow products, stuff like that, right? This is probably the first bronzer I've ever hit pan on. That says a lot. Considering I have 1,001 bronzers, yeah, this says a lot. So this is in the shade Dusty Rose, and if you are fair like me, this is everything. It's so good. It's so good. It's actually what I have on my skin today. This is by far my favorite bronzer of all time. I love the really beautiful rosy glow of it. It just looks so nice and natural on my skin. It's actually one of those products where technically you probably don't even really need to wear blush, but I do wear blush because I'm a clown. I can't help it, but it's fantastic. I love it. I will be very upset if they ever decide to discontinue this product because they got lightning in a bottle with this one. The formula is just so silky and smooth. It just brings a beautiful, just, I don't know, like life to the skin. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I love that it's not patchy or muddy. It's just beautifully seamless. It looks so natural. Again, kind of very similar to Gucci, except I think the color is just that much better. This is awesome. So if you ever wanted to try the shade Dusty Rose, do yourself a favor and try it. You will not regret it. This, I think by the end of the year, will still be #1 in my eyes. I'm sure of it. I'm pretty sure these two will still be in the top. Mark my words. Okay, moving on to blush. So when it comes to blush, I think people are going to be a little bit surprised with some of these things because, I mean, I was surprised when coming up with this list. But the first one is from NARS. NARS just, I love their face palettes. I really do. I love their I love their blush palettes. Their blush palettes are fantastic. And when this came out, the All That Glitters Light Reflecting Cheek palette, this is so good. I don't know why more people are not talking about this product. This is everything. It's so good. I love this formula. It's a very beautiful baked gelée formula that just adheres to the skin like you're painting. Hunty, you look rich, bitch. And I love products that just make me look like I have money. I love giving that appearance. And this one does a fantastic job. But what I love about this particular product is that this red blush, this mixed in with the pink and the peach and a little bit of the orange, like, oh my God, the combination of this product, she is so beautiful. She has like this wonderful glow. Oof, I am obsessed with this palette. No matter what I do, no matter what color combination I use, I just look just so glowy and just alien slut and just fantastic. I love that this formula has a sheen to it, but it doesn't have like the gross craft glitter that you would find from Joann's fabrics. Like this is just everything. So yes, highly, highly, highly recommend checking this out if you can find it. If not, I'm sorry, because like you missed out on a great product. I'm actually surprised that, again, more people just do not talk about this particular palette. I haven't seen a lot of people. I think the only one I probably seen was maybe like Morgan. I think Morgan mentioned this one, but yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So good. Okay. So the next product, which I feel like is going to be kind of a surprise and also like, really bitch, but I can't help it. What started off as a joke came one of my favorite products, and that's from Laura Geller. Something I thought I would never ever say in my life, but here I am saying it. The Wheel of Fortune blush palette. This is a joke. Truly is a joke. I thought it was a joke, but I thought it was a hilarious joke, and that's the reason why I wanted to pick it up. I wanted to see if this was going to be a waste of time. It's not. This formula, I guess I want to just like issue an apology, even though I have done so in the past. Like I really do want to say sorry, because I know a lot of people were like, bitch, Laura Geller is really good. I was like, yeah, right. I'm sorry. Like listen, I admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong about that. I was too much of a stupid child to try it, and I needed something ridiculous to come out for me to like even want to entertain it. And I'm so glad that I did. I love this formula. I think it's so nice. It's probably one of the nicest blush formulas that I've tried in a very long time. I love that everything just looks so seamless and smooth. It doesn't create any unnecessary, unwanted texture. It doesn't create any bullshit. I love that it blends out with ease, so if you do go a little bit ham, you can blend it out to be less garish, less clown-like. It has great longevity. I love the colors of this little guy. They're all within the peachy family, but I don't mind. I actually kind of go back and forth between like peach and pink blushes anyway, and last year I was kind of more on the peachier side, and this is just, it just has a special place in my heart. So much so that I actually decided to order a bunch of Laura Geller makeup because I really love this, and I actually really enjoyed the eyeshadow palette as well. While it's not technically in my favorites list, the eyeshadow palette, it would have been had I made a 2023 video, because the formula is just really good. It's a great basic bitch palette. Based on the formula of those products, I decided to pick up like a full face of shit. So expect a video in the coming weeks about Laura Geller, because I want to see if this is like a one-hit wonder for me. I hope it's not, because I really love the formula, and I want to recapture that magic every time that I use one of their products. So let's hope for that. But this is fantastic, and if you ever see it, it's stupid, it's gimmicky, it's really just dumb, but it's actually really good. Really good. Love this. And then last but not least is from Finding Ferdinand. I am a huge fan of cream blush. I love cream blush, and I try so many different cream blushes, and I have my favorite type of formula, but I think that all stopped when I tried Finding Ferdinand. So Khaki came out with this awesome collaboration. There were 6 blushes all together, including, I believe, a lip gloss as well. Lip gloss was good. It was fine, but the true winner of the show were the blushes, and these blushes, they don't disappoint. If you want a nice, beautiful cream blush that, one, is super easy to use, two, has incredible longevity, three, you don't even need to set the down, look no further. These are so good. They're so good. I also appreciate the colors that she chose because I'm a fan of like nude blushes. You don't really find a lot of good nude blushes these days, and it just it hit the spot for me. And the fact that the formula is good, oh bitch, it's so good. So I actually want to look at more stuff from Finding Ferdinand because honestly I've never heard of that brand in my life until Kaki was like, oh hey, you want this? Here. I'll send it to you in PR. I said, okay, thank you. And I've been a fan ever since. So I want to try more stuff from the brand this year because if it's this good, I cannot wait to see what else they have. So yeah, if you are in the mood for just a really beautiful cream blush that is a little bit different than what you've been seeing on the market these days, this is really good. The other thing that I really like about them too is that I love the feel of them. They remind me of like a beautiful like serum type of formula. But unlike some serum foundations or serum blushes where it just really just makes you look like you're dead, this one doesn't. This one just embodies everything that you want in a cream product, just without the bullshit. It's so good. Anyway, love this, and this is one of my favorites, and again, had I made a best of 2023, I would have highlighted these at great length. So yes, go check those out. Okay, so moving on to highlighters, I think some of this is going to surprise you because it actually surprised me when thinking about it. But these are things that I've just been using and gravitating towards, and I can't stop with it. And my number one here is from Dior. I know I briefly talked about this one, but the Backstage Glow Face palette, I remember reviewing this a long time ago, and I was kind of lukewarm about it because I really loved the original one, and I forgot about it. Whatever. I came back to it like last year, and I could kick myself because I was like, what the f is wrong with me? This is a beautiful palette. Where the f have I been? I cannot stop using this. It actually makes me really sad that this is like a limited edition thing because once this is gone, it's gone. So I've been trying not to like, try not to use it too much, but there are small little dents in some of these pans and I'm like, oh, I don't want to f with this. But this is the Rose Gold palette. I don't know. Dior Backstage palettes, the original anyway, it was just Alien Slut Gold Dreams. Like, it was so good. And when I tried the other one, I think the Glitz palette, it was fine, but it wasn't as magical as the Universal palette. Then when they released, I think they've released like 3 more palettes. One of the palettes, the gold one, completely fell apart. Like that was bull. Like that legitimately fell apart, threw that shit away. Okay, it's gone. But the rose gold one, I just always felt like lukewarm about, and I don't even know why. These have such a beautiful glow. They pack the biggest punch. If you want an Alien Slut highlighter, look no further. Like this is for you. My favorite thing actually is just taking my brush and swirling all the colors together, and you get this really beautiful like pinky gold highlighter. Oh, it's everything. But what I also like about it too is that if you are someone that doesn't really like an Alien Slut moment, you can make it a little bit more demure as you blend it out, because yes, while it is very blinding, it's also very easy to blend out so that it can be a little bit more softer, a little bit more natural if you are that type of person, which whatever. No, I joke. Everyone's entitled to their own thing. I just like looking like an alien queen, but I know that everybody loves that, and I'm sure this will change over time as I get older, but right now I am an alien slut and I'm proud of it. So that said, this is my favorite highlighter right now. And I know, I feel like a lot of y'all would be like, oh my God, but you talk so much about the Burberry highlighter. And listen, I will forever always love that product. That is coming into the grave with me. But the Dior right now is killing it for me. I don't know, there's something about the formula that is just getting me all excited in my puffy makeup nether regions, okay? It's so good. So the next highlighter I want to talk about is from Glamlight. So Glamlight makes beautiful highlighters, absolutely beautiful highlighters. And I think there was maybe one highlighter I didn't really like because I felt like as soon as I started to buff it into the skin, it kind of flew away and it was gone. And I hate that when that happens with highlighters that are very sparkly and glittery and all that bullshit. This highlighter actually is the Cookies and Cream highlighter. So you get like a nice, beautiful white shade, you get a nice, beautiful gold shade. They are blinding. And as somebody who is an ice queen like myself, this does not disappoint whatsoever. It's so good. So good. Now I really do love the highlighters that came out last year, like the Rick and Morty highlighter was really great, that little palette set. The Scream highlighter, was it Nightmare on Elm Street or is it Jason? One of them had a highlighter. I think it was Jason actually. That one was a great highlighter, but the highlighter that I just keep coming back to time and time again is the Cookies and Cream. I think out of all the highlighters that they came out, this is probably the most basic bitch, but she's a dependable bitch. She's a dependable simple glowy bitch. And even if you go in with a light hand on this, you're still going to look like an alien slut. So if you do not like a strong highlighter, you are gonna hate these. Absolutely hate these. But what I love about this particular formula, it has that glassy skin type of moment, so it doesn't look like a stripe of just white is sitting on your face. It really blends very well with the products underneath to just give you this very ethereal sex robot look. It's so good. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm excited to see what else Glamlite is going to be putting out in the highlighter department this year. Now, I do enjoy some of their eyeshadow palettes, but the thing that I feel like has usually been consistent for me is the highlighter. So I invite you to go check this out if you're looking for a nice, beautiful, like icy moment. And I am affiliated with the brand, so if you use the code garbage, you can save some money off your order. Now, the last set of highlighters is from Unearthly Cosmetics. Unearthly Cosmetics is a lovely indie brand, and they came out with these low light highlighters. Now, I am a huge fan of the low light palette. That is one of my favorite things ever from the brand. And their eyeshadow palettes are fine. Like, I like them. I like some eyeshadow palettes over some other ones, but the one thing that I've always found to be just beautiful is their highlighters, and the low light highlighters do not disappoint. So it's actually what I have on my face today. I have the purple one, actually. Which one is that one? Spectre, because I felt like it went really nice with my purple eye look. This is so good. What I like about these highlighters is that it has like more of like a kind of like a transparent-ish base, so it really gives you that glass moment that I love and look for in highlighters. Oh bitch, I am just obsessed. What I thoroughly enjoy about these highlighters, the fact that they are beautiful, beautiful duochrome highlighters. They don't have any like weird unnecessary glitter bukkake. That is probably one of the worst things about these fun flippy alien slut highlighters, is that 9 out of 10 times they usually pack so much sparkle within the highlighter that it's just off-putting, to be honest with you. When you start to kind of blend it out, you blend all these like just sparkles away, and it just looks like. Out of the 4 though, there's one highlighter, the shade Twilight, that definitely has more sparkle to it. It kind of reminds me of the Fenty Diamond Bomb, but without the bullshit, if that makes sense. But this, it's so good. I do love a good duochrome moment, and even though a lot of brands have been doing this type of formula, it's been very difficult to find a brand that actually does it right, and I feel like Unearthly does it right. These are so good. So definitely try out these highlighters if you want something a little bit more alien-esque, a little bit more celestial, something that packs a punch without the unnecessary glitter bukkake that comes along with it. This is worth every penny, and if you're ever interested in wanting to check out anything from this brand, I am also affiliated with them. Use the code garbage and you could save money off your order. Definitely go check out the low lights. They're so good. They are so, so good. Okay, before we move on to eyeshadow palettes, let's talk about some face palettes. And the first one that I loved, and it's funny because I kind of gave it a bad rap initially, is the Hourglass palettes. I gave this a bad rap because I felt like it wasn't as unique as it was the year before. So if you are fair like me, and you got the Jellyfish palette, and you got the Fair palette that was from the previous year, there really wasn't that much of a difference, but it's still a reliable, dependable palette that I use a lot. I like a lot. But the one palette that really just, I don't know, like just took me by surprise is actually like a happy accident. I ordered, oh, I forget the name of it, but whatever the second palette was, I ordered that one. They didn't send that to me. Instead, they send me the Snake palette. And the Snake palette is actually meant for those that have like medium to deep skin. So when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know what the f I'm gonna do with this. I was gonna gift it to somebody. And then something told me, you know what? Try the blush. I'm so glad that I did, and I'm sorry for my friend that I was supposed to give this to. I'm sorry. But I'm just so happy that I kept it. It's so good. It's so good. The formula is just everything. Everything. I absolutely adore these blush shades. I love that if I have a bronzer that is like too funky and chunky, I use this little setting powder, which is the Radiant Light powder. And I actually use a little bit of the Infinite Strobe Light powder too, to kind of like soften things up, especially when something's a little bit too harsh. And I don't remember who gave me that recommendation. I forgot who it was in the comments, but whoever you are, thank you. Love your face. That was the best recommendation you could ever give me, because this has now, I don't know, has so much more life to this palette for me. I thought I was only going to use it for the blushes, now I'm able to use at least 5 out of the 6 shades. Now, the bronzer it's nice, it's fine, but I've never really been a huge fan of Hourglass bronzers in particular because they're definitely on the warmer side, and it's just not for me. But I can use a little bit of that bronzer if I go a little bit sparingly with it, but it's fine. If I can use the other shades, I will take it. So yes, this was sent to me by accident, and it was a happy accident, and for that, I just love it. So if you do see this, pick this one up. I say this one is definitely more worth it than the jellyfish, but the jellyfish is still really good. But I think this is the one that is like really truly unique. Now, the other product that I loved, I was actually genuinely surprised how much I loved it, was from Pat McGrath. This holiday palette actually is really, really nice. I love the light bronzer, the pink blush. I love the highlighter. Pat's highlighters are fantastic. And this, yeah, doesn't disappoint. I was thoroughly surprised. I thought this was going to be something that is just okay, like meh, you're better off with her singles or something like that. No, every product in this little palette, even though it looks disgusting with this fake Bridgerton packaging, it's so good. It's so good. It's not worth full price. Definitely get it on sale, but you will not be disappointed. It's actually really, really solid. I kind of forgot about the bronzer formula in general because when I was doing my declutter, I didn't realize I had that bronzer in like a different spot. So I totally forgot that I had it and I tried it. And so that was a little bit of an embarrassment on my part. But anyway, when I tried this again, I was like, oh my God, yes, now I remember. This is actually pretty good formula. Pat's blushes are just some of the best formula out there, and the highlighter does not disappoint. Again, nice, beautiful alien slut highlighter. Oh, so good. I am just a sucker for all things icy, like I really am, and does not disappoint. I also love that it has like a nice little pink hue to it, so huge fan of this. Love, love, love this. And then last but not least, something a little bit surprising, I'm sure, is from Kaja. This is the little bento box, the Play bento box. So this is in the shade Sugar Cookie. In this, you get a really beautiful like nude powder blush. You get a very, very alien slut highlighter. And on the bottom, you get a fantastic cream bronzer. This is so pretty. The cream bronzer is a beautiful lightweight formula that is just a great, I would say, neutral to cool tone option. The powder highlighter is an alien slut dream, and the nude blush is just so good. It actually kind of reminds me a little bit of the khaki blush, except in a powder formula. Yeah, this is good. It's great for those with fair skin, and I love this. And this is something that I like to take with me when I'm traveling, because as much as I love overpacking, I've been trying to simplify things, and since discovering this product, this is like one of the best little tiny compact things that actually is not a gimmick and works really, really well. I love using the cream bronzer specifically too. That's probably like my favorite component out of the whole thing, because it's just such a beautiful light formula that even when I put powder on top of it, it still maintains its color on the face. Very rarely I feel like does that happen with cream bronzers, because usually powder kind of overtakes it, but this bronzer though still gives a really beautiful glow with powder on top of it. This is so good. Highly recommend checking this out. I know Kaja is kind of a little bit of a gimmick, I feel like, but this is a product that actually is worth checking out, worth the money, and something that you'll be surprised how often you use. Like, to this day, I'm still actually surprised. I have a lot of cream products, too many for my own good, and this is just something that I just reach for all the time because it's just so convenient and so easy to use, and it just looks so good on me. So yeah, we love that. Sorry, I'm kind of speeding up a little bit only because construction has like ramped up and I gotta go to work soon. So anyway, that said, let's move on to eyeshadow palettes. The first one I want to talk about is actually the newest one that I have, but I cannot stop playing with this. I cannot stop playing with this, and I love every second of it. This is from Wicked Widow Beauty. This is the Resurrection palette. This is so good. This is legitimately all I just ever want or need in a rainbow palette. I love the formula. I love the mattes. It's actually what I have on my face today, mixed in with a little bit of a different type of shimmer. Well, I do love the shimmers in this. They're very beautiful formulas, especially the shade Ethereal. Oh my God, it's such a gorgeous purple shade, or Prayer, or Temptation, or Ornate, whatever. They're all fabulous, but I love the matte formula because it's very easy to use. I didn't experience any sort of patchiness, any sort of blending issues. There's no lifting. There's just no bullshit. Well, yes, there is a little bit of fallout. It's very easy to clean. It's just a really nice formula that I have just been absolutely in love with. I really just love how simple the mattes are. They are just, oh, they're so good to use. There's nothing that I would take away from this palette, nothing that I would add. I feel like you get the best of everything. And it actually reminds me a little bit of the KBD Beauty, the stained glass palette that came out like, what, 2017 or whatever. I love that palette. That palette was great, and it was probably one of like my first like big palettes getting into makeup, and I decluttered that one because I wasn't really using it anymore, and it didn't really have the same sort of flair as it once did. And so when discovering this palette, oh my God, I just have not been happier. What is so awesome about this formula too, while the mattes are everything, I think the standout for me in this palette are the beautiful shimmers. And it's funny because I didn't use the shimmers on my lid today, but I think we can appreciate the beautiful like duochromes, multi-chromes that are within this bad boy. Like, so good. So good. Oh my God. So good. I love it. Again, it's literally legitimately like the best of everything. Again, I need to stop swatching stuff, but I love this palette. And it's funny because I feel like last year I really gravitated towards a lot of just basic bitch palettes. I love basic bitch palettes. They are my bread and butter. I am an Anne after all at the end of the day, and I am giving you Anne vibes today with how I look, okay? But when I purchased this palette, it reminded me just how beautiful color is. I feel like it's such a stupid thing to say, but when you have just been inundated with basic bitch palettes, you kind of forget that color exists sometimes. So it's just been really just fun to play with. Now, I have tried other palettes from Wicked Widow Beauty, and they have been fine, but I feel like whatever is going on in here just surpasses all the other palettes that I've ever tried from the brand. And I sincerely hope that they continue with this energy. This is good. Yes, she is expensive, but I think she's worth every penny. And I know when I picked it up, this is before I got an affiliate code like that, I picked this up with my own money, and I just, I'm glad that I did, because it just, this just means so much more to me because I spent my hard-earned money, and I feel like this is worth every penny that I spent on this. So this is so good. If you're looking for a beautiful rainbow palette that has great mattes and even better shimmers, definitely go check out Wicked Widow Beauty. I believe there's a pre-order for this palette, and of course, now that I am affiliated with them, if you do want to save a little bit of money, use the code garbage and you can get money off your order. So yay, we love that. We love that. The next palette I want to talk about is from Tom Ford. I love this palette. I love this palette. I will die in a hill for this palette. So this is the Rose Topaz, y'all. This, I've had this for a minute, and you can see this is well loved, well disgustingly loved. I think when it comes to Tom Ford, a lot of their stuff is incredibly overrated, but the one formula that I feel like is actually worth checking out is the cream formula. The cream quads, I don't know what they do, I have no idea, but it's just magic. The formula is just so smooth and soft, and it just blends with ease. The shimmers are very alien slut. You definitely pack a punch. This is the kind of palette that I take with me when I know I'm gonna have to get dressed up. I use it for weddings, fancy dinners. Like, she is a basic bitch palette for sure. This little quad right here, she doesn't look like much, but when I tell you the things you can do, so good, so worth every damn penny. I have tried other cream formula, and some palettes aren't created equally. I think Rose Topaz is the one that does it right. Everything else is either good or like okay. Rose Topaz is it though. So if you ever wanted to try this particular type of formula, get Rose Topaz. Do not get anything else, okay? Don't get anything else. I swear, don't. It's just not gonna have the same kind of a vibe. I don't know, there's just something about like this cool tone color story that just looks so timeless. Like, it's, I don't know, like you look so classic and so rich, and I love it. I feel like I'm on my third husband when I wear this eyeshadow palette. It's so good. So I highly recommend checking that out if you want to be a little bit bougie. But the other palette that I feel like this is going to be a complete surprise is Amaya. Now, I know I have talked a lot about Byredo specifically, right? Because I never really liked Byredo. I wanted to. I love Byredo's lipstick, but the eyeshadow palette was awful, and I buried that in the floor in my queen's apartment, and it still haunts me to this day. But when Byredo came out, I think the first palette I kind of like wasn't really into, and then this palette came out, which this one is called the Industrial Color Palette 2.0. This is a palette full of shimmers. It's actually what I have on my eyelid today. This is so good. I don't know how to even explain this palette. It's like a fancy shimmer. but also kind of like sexy and scary at the same time. Probably the best way that I can describe it. Like, I feel like I am a hacker, but a sexy hacker that's like uncovering like this really dark, deep web of lies. Like, kind of like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo a little bit, but not really. I realize that's kind of like what I was kind of describing in a weird way. Anyway, point is, there's just something just really sultry and just glorious about these shimmers. They're so good. They are so smooth and they pack such a beautiful little punch. I love how just kind of weird and like celestial and wispy and just alien-esque. I don't know, like, it's hard to really describe this palette. It's very, very expensive. Very expensive. And I got it because I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. And then people were recommending it to me and they were like, no, 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 you need to check this one out. And I'm so happy that they did because it exceeded my expectations. I didn't realize that formula like this could be just so good. I love that, yes, it is very sparkly, but kind of like a professional, it's weird. It's like, it's a professional sparkle. That doesn't even make any sense, but it has it together. It doesn't rain down your face. It doesn't look like it's missing credit card payments. It just looks really just put together, but also like really fierce and scary. And I think when I want to command attention, like if I know I'm gonna have a Zoom meeting and I gotta lay down the law to somebody, bitch, I'm using this. I'm using this. Because one, they cannot stop staring at my eyes because they look beautiful and glorious. And two, they're scared of me. Also, I mean, the palette is just kind of weird in itself. It just kind of looks like a weird ghost. I don't know what the fuck this is. It is a weird palette, but it's a palette that is worth exploring, worth checking out if you want to get weird. You want to get weird? 2024, this is the year of everything. Get weird with me. You will love this shit. It's so weird. I love it. It's so good. I cannot stop using the shimmers. It's so awesome. It's funny because initially I was thinking about like, oh, maybe I'll just take like a basic bitch palette. Because if I did like a top 5, I probably would have included like the Huda Beauty, like the little 9-pan matte palettes, because I'm obsessed with those. And I find that I usually just like, I use those and then I always kind of pair it with this. Because this is just like one of those palettes that just really need to speak on its own. Like you need to just have some sort of like bullshit basic bitch kind of a shade there. But you just let this do its thing. It's so worth it. Worth checking out. So yes, those are my weird ass palettes. And I'm actually kind of surprised at the list too, because I thought it was going to be, again, more basic bitch stuff, but no, I really love weird out there. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to eyeliners. So when it comes to eyeliners, I am very, 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 very finicky. I have very watery, sensitive eyes, and usually everything bleeds and runs and it just looks like on me. So what I'm looking for in an eyeliner is something that just doesn't leave my face. These are the 3 things that I've just been utterly obsessed with. First one is Kulfi. Kulfi is great. Kulfi needs to release more colors. I think out of like pencil kind of crayon eyeliners, these have just been consistent across the board, where I don't feel like things are just like kind of bleeding into the outer corners, or I'm losing coverage after 2 hours, or it starts to kind of run down my face. These really stay put. Love them. So you can get any color you want, doesn't matter. They're all fantastic, but my favorite one is Tiger Queen. Tiger Queen is just the end all be all. Number 1 in my eyes, okay? So if you're looking for a nice, beautiful stick eyeliner that is, yeah, a little bit more money than say like a traditional ColourPop eyeliner, this is definitely worth exploring, worth checking out. The other eyeliner that I love, and I feel like is usually in the description of 90% of my videos, is Melt Cosmetics. Their gel pot eyeliners are everything, and with every release that they have been coming out with, I make sure that, okay, maybe I might not love the eyeshadow palette or the highlighter or whatever it is. The thing that will always be something that I want to pick up are their eyeliners. They are so good, and the ones that have been like recent favorites are the ones from the Nightmare Before Christmas ones. I hate that movie, fuck that movie, but the eyeliners are so good. I love these orange eyeliners, but my favorite color of all time will always be Cultura. It's just a very beautiful mustard color. I wear this all the time because of my beautiful, beautiful blue eyes. It makes them pop. This is awesome. I absolutely love this formula, and I find that it really does a great job staying in the waterline, and it requires a little bit of elbow grease to remove it, which to me, that's amazing, because eyeliners just they fade so quickly on me. Now, I always talk about how much I love Lethal Cosmetics eyeliners, and I still do, but it's been a minute since they released those kind of eyeliners. I know they did the cake liners, and this was not my jam. And I found that over time, sometimes with Lethal, they get to be a little bit dried out, which is unfortunate. So I actually had to chuck some of them last year, and I need to go actually buy some new ones. But in the meantime, I've just kind of been sticking with Melt, because Melt, even if they are a little bit past their date, they're still very, very creamy, which I love and appreciate. So anyway, Melt, you can't go wrong. Seriously, like, I feel like I have so many different colors. Again, every little collection that comes out, I just love. Absolutely love. I could literally keep going at this point, okay? You see what I'm saying, okay? Like, I love them. Love them, love them, love them. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what they're going to be releasing this year in terms of colors. But if they ever stop making that Cultura shade, I will lose my shit. Now, the next one, I was going to kind of talk a little bit about Urban Decay, because I really do love their liquid liners. I think they're really fantastic. These weird ones. These I've actually been using a lot of, but I can't, because ColourPop came out with multi-chrome eyeliners, and yes, while they're relatively new, these have easily just have a special place in my heart. I love my Kaleidos multi-chrome eyeliners, and I will forever love them, but I kind of just keep using these, and I love these so much. This is probably like the first affordable multi-chrome eyeliner that I have tried that has actually worked on me, so this is just everything. So if you have been wanting to try them, please do yourself a favor and try them. Ever since receiving these this year, I wear these every day. I wear them every day. I have tried all the colors. They are all so fucking good. They all stay in the waterline. They have a very cool flip, which I know is kind of maybe a little bit hard to tell here, but if you were in person, you can definitely see the flip better. These are so good. They're so creamy. They don't hurt your eyes. I cannot stress that enough. I cannot stress that enough. They do not hurt your eyes. As someone who has very sensitive eyes, everything makes me cry. The fact that these don't is a miracle. Love these, love these, love these, love these. So yes, they earn a special place in my heart. Anyway, okay, let's talk about mascara. So I feel like these three should come as no surprise. They have been mentioned in my description box of my videos all last year, and I cannot stop using them. So the first one is the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift. This is amazing. I hate that there is just such bullshit surrounding this product. It didn't need a fake false lash to sell it. This is a very beautiful product on its own. If you are like me, where you don't with false lashes, that is not your jam, and you don't want to get extensions or anything like that, you just want a mascara that, I don't know, gives you length and separation, this is for you. This is going to be the cheapest option out of the options that I show you today. This is everything. It's so good. Amazing. This is probably like my third mascara tube at this point. Love it. All right. The next product is from Ritual Defeat, the Levitation Lash. When I tell you, I was thoroughly surprised, because usually when brands come out with their first mascaras, they're not that great. Like, they're okay at best. I was genuinely surprised with how beautiful this formula is. The fact that it lifts, it separates, it doesn't fall, it doesn't crumble. Everything just looks so good for over like 10 hours of wear. It's another product that requires a little bit of elbow grease to remove, but once you're removed, your lashes look beautiful and lovely. It doesn't break anything. It doesn't cause any unnecessary bullshit. But most importantly, I love how it looks in the lower lash line. Everything just looks full and just good. Like, I love it. Obsessed with it. Can't have enough of it. I love how my lashes just look full and beautiful. It definitely gives the same vibe as the L'Oreal Telescopic. Actually, I feel like all three of these products really do kind of the same thing in a way, because they all lift, they all separate, they all just make my lashes just look better than they have ever looked in their life. And I just love that I have three different options. So the Ritual Defeat one is wonderful, and I believe it's a vegan formula. So if you're into that stuff, like cruelty-free, vegan, all that stuff, this is a great formula for you. Plus, use the code Theresa10 to save 10% off. And last but not least, Benefit FanFest. So good. So good. Benefit usually makes really great mascaras, and this one probably has to be the best mascara that they have ever made. I don't want to repeat myself, but it like lifts, separates, whatever. It does all of that and more. And I just love it. I love it. It's just so comfortable to use. I love it in the lower lash line. Again, these are just three amazing products that kind of all essentially do the same thing, but they're all just so lovely. They're so lovely. You cannot go wrong with any of them. And for that, I know I probably should have just picked one, but I can't. All the other mascaras that I have that I love, not as much as these. Like, these I actually like rotate. I make sure to rotate them. So these are good. Great. So moving on to lip products, and I think we can kind of round this bitch out and call it a day. Sounds good? All right, great. So let's talk about lips. So let's start with lip oils. Number one, and it'll forever always be my number one, Dior. Dior just makes a wonderful lip oil. It just buy it. It's so good. It's the best formula out there. I have tried many a lip oil, and while yes, some do come close, that will be the best one. Best one hands down. If you want a lip oil that has a little bit of color to it, because that's the one thing that I feel like that doesn't happen with Dior. A lot of them are more opaque. Ritual de Fille. Ritual de Fille, their Thorn Bite Peptide Plump Cream Lip Oil. Bitch. You can get the one that has like the shimmer formula, which is so pretty. But my favorite one is the Rose Crush. This is just a perfect formula, and I just love the color of it. Ooh, so good. I love this formula too because it's very similar to Dior in the sense that it has a really good longevity. It's very comfortable. It's just, oh, it's so good. It's not sticky. It's not gross. It just makes your lips feel nice and supple and lovely. Again, look no further. Use code Theresa10 if you want to save 10% off. And then the last product is from e.l.f. This is a recent favorite, but something that I just can't deny. Like, it's just so good. It's so good. I understand if people don't want to spend the money on Dior because Dior is expensive. I think it's like $40, I want to say, per lip oil. Lunacy. Absolute lunacy. These I think are $8 or $9, which is a way more comfortable price point. This is great. The first time I ever tried it, I knew like, okay, I hit gold with this product, and I purposely bought like 5 more. The colors are very reminiscent to the Dior one, so I feel like it actually could be a good dupe. So again, if you didn't want to buy Dior, definitely check out e.l.f. But what I like about this formula is that it's very smooth, it's not sticky, has great longevity. I feel like if I drink something, I don't immediately have to reapply. Like, I just love the wear down of this product. And the fact that it's much more affordable than the other two, sign me up. But this is so good. Another good option would be NYX Fat Oil. That one is fantastic too, but the e.l.f. one I think is better. So e.l.f. all the way. And then last but certainly not least, when it comes to lipsticks, these 3, I feel like just 2 of them anyway, are just oldies but a goodie. Gucci. Gucci is the best lipstick formula I've ever tried. Fight me on it. I love their names. I think they're hilarious. That's where Margaret Candleflame came from. Okay, my lovely character. But my favorite color is Blaze of Noon. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So good. And this also holds a very special place in my heart because the first time I ever purchased this lipstick, I was with Michelle Wong and Emily, Imperfectly M, and Alex at, were we at Saks? I think we were at Saks Fifth Avenue. I can't remember. But anyway, I purchased this with them, and yeah, so it's not only a beautiful color, a beautiful formula, but a really nice memory too. So I love that. And then of course, the best liquid lipstick to ever rule the world, Urban Decay. I talk about this all the time. If you want a good liquid lipstick that's comfortable, that's hydrating, that's not going to cause you any bullshit, that's not going to gum up and just be stupid and weird, get the Vice ones. I don't even care what color you get because they're all the same, all right? These are so good. And then last but certainly not least, this is a recent favorite, but one that, you know, I feel like I have to talk about, Prada, because Prada is actually going to be coming to Sephora, which is even more lovely because they do make really good eyeshadow formula, but their lipsticks are top notch. And look at this packaging, bitch. So I've been meaning to buy some more of this, but I've been like waiting because I heard a rumor that they were supposed to come to Sephora, and now they are. So I'm going to go motherfucking ham. Now there are 2 formulas for Prada. I think there's one that's like really matte, and then the one that's like kind of matte but not really. I like the kind of matte not really formula. I think it's like the monochrome formula. This is so good. And I also love the component. I love that it's refillable. I love just how sleek and sexy it looks. I think this matched with the Izamaya, bitch, I am ruling the world, and I just love it. So yeah, so those are my favorites. Yeah, sorry, I had to speed through that. The construction's killing me. Okay. Anyway, now I want to hear from y'all. Let me know down below what your tops are. What are your top 3 in every category? And if you are a creator, please do this video. I know there were a lot of people doing it last year. Let's continue to do it. I'm so curious to see what people are loving right now. And of course, I want to do this video, if not in June, definitely in December, but I kind of want to do like a mid-year check-in because I'm curious to see if my favorites now are still going to be my favorites or if they're going to be completely different. And of course, at the end of the year, I could be loving something else entirely. So I'm excited, and I hope you're here for the ride. That said, yeah, that's all I got. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and to my beautiful, wonderful YouTube members and patrons. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, filthy, trashy, really filthy, really gross, really nasty, really disgusting garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love your adorable little delicious faces, and I just want to gobble you all up so you live inside my belly and we can be one. If you want to know what is currently on my face, everything you need to know will be listed in the description box down below. And if I can't fit everything there, I will definitely leave it in a pinned comment. And yeah, everything that I mentioned in today's video, I will also leave down below as well. And yeah, I'll see you little gumdrops later. And that's all I got. All right, bye.